My name's Reagan Schmidt. For my demo, I will be showing you how to do light on form. So I will be showing you where the highlights are on certain objects and where the shadows fall. I will also be showing you the different parts, like core shadow and umbra and penumbra. And this is important for Design 131, and you'll actually use it throughout your whole entire career, no matter what your art profession is. It's a very important, fundamental thing to know. So let's get started. Okay, here's my setup. I have multiple shapes to choose from, but you do not need to have shapes, like the actual things. You can use your imagination to figure out where the light hits. I have pencils, which range 6B to 4B. Sorry, 6B to 4H. And then I have some charcoal pencils and a white charcoal pencil. But you may use Prismacolor, the white and black soft leaded pencils. And we will always have throughout art light from the left top hitting the object, so we get a nice shadow that goes to the right and back behind whatever form you are drawing. I also went ahead and drew out all of our shapes, so if you would like to pause this video and draw the shapes, you can see I lightly drew where the shadows are, and I will be going over that in a little bit. To begin, we start with the darkest parts of our forms. So that would be shadow core and umbra. Now umbra is not the entire shadow. You see, this outer shadow is actually penumbra. Umbra is this darker part where the shape is sitting on the table. You'll see with my fingers how there's a shadow now. That would be penumbra, and when it's touching the paper, that is umbra right here, where it is at its darkest point. So we will begin filling those in, and you should be doing little circles. I am using a 6B, but you may use a charcoal pencil or a black Prismacolor. I'm going to fill in this section of your sphere. And remember, this has a reflected shadow, so you're not going to go all the way to the edge of the sphere. And again, this is the darkest part, and your shadow will be 40% darker, I believe, than the medium value of your sphere. As you get lighter, you can use different pencils to brandish in the pencil marks. Like you can switch to, I will probably switch to a 2B and then a HB. I don't know if I will go as far as 2H, maybe. Then go to the umbra. This here that I am filling in is the umbra. Remember to go in little circles. Sharpness of your pencil is totally your preference. I'm one of those people that likes it dull at times, but for fine details I'll do a sharp lead. So there is umbra. I'm actually going to go in and fill in the penumbra as well. We are mainly going to focus on the sphere. I will do the other shapes off video, and if you want a demo of the other shapes, you can ask me and I'll post another video. But the sphere is most important for Design 131, in my opinion. On to highlights. Now we're going in with our Prismacolor or charcoal pencil that's white. Make sure you have soft lead. Hard lead is good for a more medium white rather than a bright white. If you want bright white, you want a soft lead. So we're gonna go in where the light hits. And earlier in the previous videos, I said reflected shadow. This is reflected light from the table. You might not always be able to see it, but it's there. So I'm gonna start pushing really hard my white pencil, and I'm gonna go around and fade it out. If you are not working on colored paper, then the lightest point will be the color of the sheet of paper itself, which would probably be white, so you wouldn't be doing this step. If you're doing color, you would be doing this highlight step. This is also kind of brandishing in the pencil I had for the medium tones. Remember little circles. And you will not want to put any highlight in your reflected light, which would be this. Do not highlight that. That'll make it too bright, make it look like as if it's like a liquid, like maybe water's covering it, or that's a marble, something shiny, super shiny. In our case, our forms are not shiny, they're kind of matte. I might have gotten this a little too light, so this thing, a kneaded eraser, very, very helpful, or your mechanical eraser that can extend and go in. It's always an adding and subtracting game, so I can add more pencil on top. This is 2H, by the way. If you ever find something gets too light or too dark, you can always erase it, or if it gets super duper dark or light, you can use your X-Acto knife. And when using an X-Acto knife, you want to make sure the blade is flat with the paper. Otherwise, you'll pull up a little bit of the tooth and might rip a hole in your paper, which I've done before. Switching to 2B, I got this way too light. When blending, you always want to do small circles, especially when you get to color, so you can't see the pencil marks. So you want it to be cohesive and blend out well. There is our finished product. Got 2B. Let's do this lightest to darkest. Highlight, and then 2H, 2B, 6B, charcoal. These two can be substituted with Prismacolor. That's how you do light on form.